Welcome back. This two-part video is probably only going to be for the hardcore fans because it's going to be pretty much 50 minutes straight of me troubleshooting the car after getting it started. So if that's something you're interested in, stay tuned because we're about to get started. Regarding automobiles, yeah. Just a few things to take care of before we go and take this thing for a drive. One, I have to tighten the crash tubes up. Two, remember this? Oh yeah, it looks like a real car at some point. Like, I need a bumper. Yeah, those are the two main things. Let's do those first. When the car was on yesterday, it was showing ambient air temperature of negative 40 degrees Celsius. So I'm guessing that's my original label here says bumper sensor question mark. I'm guessing that's the ambient air temperature. And when it has no signal, it just says it's freezing cold outside. This is the last post-it note on the car. Small things, right? Getting close now. I think I can put the wheels on. Okay, it's time for the first, not even shakedown, just to make sure it moves under its own power so I can get it somewhere to get the exhaust on. There's no muffler on it. So I'm just gonna drive it down the street and back to make sure the clutch works, or around the block, I guess, to see if I can get into second or third. The first gear I'll test is obviously gonna be reverse. So important, gear shifter. If you can hear me, this is the part I'm probably the most nervous about. The engine now runs, and I really hope the transmission works. Garage. If you're wondering, it's registered and insured. That's it. That's all I wanted to do. It's such a great feeling. Yeah. Let's get this exhaust on. I want to drive this thing. Okay, just a quick video. Found a muffler shop. I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna drive there. Just gonna try and, not disturb my neighbors and go very quietly. I mean, it's no worse than a Harley Davidson, right? It's so loud. Just gotta act like it's totally normal. Okay, tire pressure still, check engine, yeah, fine. I haven't cleared it since I blew the engine. Still nice and quiet, like it's not like a big fart can. It's got the resonator and the cat in there, so idle's a little rough, but I can't remember what it was. Oh, the check engine light is flashing again. But that could be one of a lot of things. So let's get it home. I have to do the power steering fluid too. Yeah, the idle's not quite right, but I'm gonna clear all the codes first, and then we'll deal with that. I also have the traction control light on, which could be any number of sensors. So I've driven to the garage, got the muffler on, and now I'm driving back. Time for the first oil change. I've gone 10 kilometers. Okay, we made it home. Okay, so initial thoughts. I need to clear those codes and hopefully it smooths out the idle a bit. It almost sounds like bad timing, but I don't know, I was pretty careful about that. But that's actually not an insanely hard fix, I don't think. So the alignment actually is decent. I think it needs a little tweak, but it's actually decent. But yeah, gonna just do a little maintenance now. I just changed all the fluid, cleared all the codes. First thing that happened was a misfire on cylinder 4, so that made me a little upset because those are brand new plugs. But then I went out and the number 4 cable going to the actual coil pack wasn't quite on. It clicked when I touched it, so let's try this again. Let's start this again. Cylinder 4 misfire. Took the intercooler off. Getting good at that. Checked all the spark plug leads, and yeah, number 3 and number 4. Before when I was talking about what went onto the actual coil pack. This time the actual, I don't know, tubes that go down, the contacts that go down onto the spark plug, they weren't like snapped into place. So I pushed all 4 into place. It's so funny when you go on and look at misfires code, the misfire code online. It's just like, you need to tear the engine apart. You need a whole new engine. It's like, okay, everybody relax. I mean, if this is why it was running rough when I was driving it, I'm gonna be so happy because that's such an easy fix. No fault codes. All right, so I cleared it. Let's try this again. That was a horrible noise. I didn't clamp down the intercooler. I thought it would be okay. Just starting up. That was a horrible noise. I'm gonna guess that was because I didn't clamp down the intercooler, the silicon thing flapping around. Okay. Shall we try this again? No crazy noise this time, please. Engine light is out. Tire pressure. No, it's still not idling smoothly. Okay, guesses right now. That injector. Do I have extra injectors? No, I don't. These were well, they weren't rebuilt. They're cleaned and they did sit for a while, obviously. The coil pack itself could be dead. Okay, take the intercooler off. Move the injector. Swap 3 and 4. Or just swap the cables. It just sucks. I have to put the intercooler back on every time. Okay, no codes. now it's getting a little choppy. But no engine codes. I mean, I have really old gas in there. Maybe, but why would it always be cylinder 4? Oh, there we go. Yeah. Came back. Okay, so now I'm gonna move the injector. Okay, I've reset the tire pressure sensor. I did the tire or the wheel crank for the power steering and refilled the fluids. As far as the spark plug goes, or the misfire goes, I've changed all the spark plugs. I swapped injectors 3 and 4, and it's all back together now. So if the problem stays with 4, then it's probably the actual coil pack. If it goes to 3, then it's the injector. If it goes away, it was the spark plugs. I mean, I guess it could just be something wrong with the cylinder, but I mean, I just just measured them all. You saw me measure all the gaps and everything there. It all seemed to go pretty smoothly. The head just got done at the machine shop, so I don't think there's anything wrong there. So I'm really hoping it's one of these sort of cheap fixes. Seems to be coming back. Maybe. I wonder if it could be the bad gas, but why would it always be number 4? No misfires yet. Oh, I got a traction control warning, which is weird. I think I might take it for a drive, see if I get the light. Nope. Check engine light. Damn it. Let's see which cylinder it's on. Please be 3. The injector's expensive, but 4. Okay. Well, that's bad news. Alright, well, luckily I've already pre-ordered a new coil pack and a new set of cables, just to rule that out. If I replace the coil pack and the cables and it's still number 4, that's very bad news. Okay, well there's not much I can do tonight. I've done all the basics here. Is there anything else I can do? No. I ordered the spark plug wires and the new coil, and I'm just waiting for those to arrive. They should arrive in a couple of hours here. In the meantime, I think the fuel filter is probably a good idea to replace that. It's been sitting in old gas for 3 years. I have about half a tank of gas left, so I'm going to replace this. There's lots of good videos out there about that, so I'm just going to follow those and do that. It's worse than any that I've seen online, of course. But yeah, whatever, I'll just keep going and vacuum it all out, clean it all out before I open that, obviously. Okay, new O-ring on there. So it looks like there's a bracket here that this is supposed to slide onto that it wasn't on. I'm not sure how much of a difference that makes, but I want to get it back on there. Ah, this is sketchy as hell. Got it. Okay. There we go. Now it's not as floppy. Filter. A couple of comments I read said put this gasket in first rather than putting it in and allowing the whole filter to push it in when you tighten it. Oh yeah, that works pretty good. Okay, that's not a pleasant job. The hardest part was actually getting everything back pushed in. This is what the fuel filter looks like. And that's not great. So I think everyone should probably do that. It's fairly easy. Although I'm not going to put this back seat back in just yet, just in case I pulled it up too far. I mean, I didn't pull it up that far at all, but if anything got disconnected from the bottom somehow, then I'll have to go back in. I'll know if the car just won't start because it's not getting any fuel, but I think it will be okay. I was just about to call it for the day, and delivery guy showed up with my new spark plug cables. I put the new coil pack on earlier today. Interesting enough, the ends look like they're brass rather than like steel. Here's the factory one. A little bit corrosion, but that's on 1. 4 looks okay, but you never know, right? So yeah, new cables, new pack. I'll put it all together now. Okay, I've got a new code reader. Got it off Amazon, pretty cheap. This one is supposed to be good for minis, and I can reset all adaptations on top of the normal codes. Okay, so we've got new spark plugs, new spark plug cables, new coil, new fuel filter. Everything's been reset in the ECU. If I still get a misfire in cylinder 4, I'm gonna have to do a compression test. That will be bad. And it's possible that it won't start right away here just because I was messing with the fuel, so it might take a few. That's why I'm trying to turn it off to sort of pressurize the system here. And let's try and get this thing started. Nothing. I didn't plug in the coil pack, did I? Nope. There we go. Okay, that's probably a lack of fuel. Okay, this is gonna be my first real drive. Obviously, I've driven it to the shop and back, but all the codes are cleared. The goal of this trip is to burn off about half a tank of gas and get rid of that 3-year-old gas, then reset all the ECU again and put better, like, new high octane in, and then do the break-in of the clutch. So hopefully no codes. Engine lights out, that's good. There's definitely flywheel rattle, and I'll maybe make a short video about that, and also I'll give you a good shot of the exhaust once I got good gas in there. Rebuild, when I turned it on after the rebuild, got 159,708 kilometers on it. The clutch says to break in for 500 miles, which is just over 700 kilometers. I think, so I've written down here 160,513 kilometers. That's our goal. Not today, but before I'll go over 4,000 RPM, that's what I'm gonna hit. And I know there's a lot of online controversy about, like, should you break it in hard? I don't think so. I'm on the side of no, because all the manufacturers say not to do that to their cars. I watched the best video I think I watched was Engineering Explained, and he's just like, don't do it. And I know that there's a popular one, even Mod Mini linked to a popular sort of method, and I think that person's going for maximum power. I am not. I am going for maximum reliability. Okay, so the clutch, yeah, it's good feeling to it. Very light, very light. I would say my daily driver is a 07 3 Series, and I would say it's like half the pressure to get the clutch in. So I'll have to get used to that. But also, yeah, it definitely seems like there's a lot at the bottom where the clutch isn't engaging. So just, it's sort of right at the beginning, which I don't know if that's good or bad. It'll just take some getting used to. I think a lot of people say like, oh, it gets a lot of on and off feel, but it's not like herky-jerky or anything. Uh-oh. Okay, I do have an EML light, which is not a check engine light. Engine management light, I guess? I'm not really sure. I did expect maybe some lights from the bad gas, so car's not sputtering. We'll see how it goes. I just heard the supercharger spin up a little bit there. I can't get too hard on the throttle because it gets to 4,000 fast. But I'm just gonna head back and check that engine light. Actually, it's driving so nice. I don't know if I want to go back. It's not sputtering. It's not flashing, it's just on, so that means it was temporary, I think. It always seems to be at idle, which is strange. So, right now I've got an EML but no check engine. So I'm gonna see if I can scan just that code, assuming the check engine light doesn't come back on. 1498. Okay, yesterday I did 100 kilometers, and I was getting an intermittent vacuum leak and misfire on cylinder 4. The misfire could still be the gas, but I want to rule everything out. But I'm also getting the vacuum leak, essentially. 1398, I think it is. I'll put it up on the screen here. And so what I've done is I've read a lot that maybe those sort of aftermarket silicone couplers for the intercooler isn't great, or are not great. So I replaced with the OEM ones, just the rubber ones, which seem to go on way easier anyway. So hopefully they seal a little bit better, and we'll see if that's what's causing it. Hopefully the new couplers will get rid of the vacuum leak problem, and then I can just focus on the misfire. I have halfway between a quarter and a tank of gas, so I'm gonna burn it down to, burn the gas down to maybe just under a quarter before I fill it up with good gas, and then reset everything. And then if I'm still getting misfires, the next thing will be to change the plugs again. I know that seems weird, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change back to the OEM ones. Spurious Pseudo suggested that maybe I should just go with the OEM ones, not the one step colder ones. And I was actually in the forums, I think North American on NAM, and the NGK rep came in to one of the actual threads and said, you know, you don't necessarily need colder plugs just because you have a 15% pulley. Now, I don't think that's a big issue, but I mean, for the whatever 30 or 40 bucks it's going to cost to try the OEM spec ones, so the level 7 ones instead of level 6 or vice versa, I'll try those next. But first I want to get this vacuum leak fixed, hopefully, and then we can work on new gas, and then we can work on the misfire. So I've now driven approximately 150 to 200 kilometers, and I keep running into the same issue, which is misfire in cylinder 4 and a vacuum leak, P1498 I think it is. So the vacuum leak is, everything online tells me it's something after the supercharger, so something in that plastic horn that's there, the 2 vacuum lines that go into it, or something in that area. Maybe the green gasket can fail, but it's brand new, so unlikely. I think it might be this. I'll show you the picture here. See how the red part is broken? That is a vacuum line that comes right off of the supercharger, so it could be that. And I've ordered a new one of those. Those are actually hard to find. Mini doesn't sell them, but there's a Land Rover part that will fit and do the same thing that I found in the forum, so I'm waiting for that. So that vacuum line that goes into that is also one that goes to the map sensor, which if the map sensor is getting wrong readings, it could be causing a misfire. So it could all be related. Another thing that I'm going to just make sure I can do, because I don't have to take anything apart to do this, is that the both map sensor and T-map sensor were both sitting on a shelf for 3 years, so they could just be dusty or dirty. So I'm going to clean those, and hopefully that clears up the misfire, but I don't know. I'm just going to do it because it's a good idea anyway. Okay, so I'll just blast it. Just starting it up and seeing how it goes here. No, still sputtering a bit, I think. Here comes a misfire. Okay, so cleaning the map sensors didn't work. I mean, they could be faulty. I think there's a way to test them. I don't know. I'll have to check on that. I guess I could buy new ones. But yeah, I hate to have to do a compression test. I mean, what could possibly be wrong? Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, at this point, I'm waiting for parts from Land Rover. So that could be 2 days or it could be 2 weeks. But I've got two major problems, which is these two codes, misfire in cylinder 4 and vacuum leak. And probably what I'm gonna have to do is pull the bumper off, put it in the front end service mode, check all the connections on that sort of intercooler plastic pipe that comes out of it, and then figure out this misfire. So it's very strange. It really seems like a sensor thing. I mean, the other causes are bad head gasket, seems unlikely. Burnt valve, seems unlikely. So we'll see. I'm not sure. I guess it could be a ring on piston 4. Like maybe I didn't seat it right, but I was very careful with that for them to be seated properly. So I don't think that's it, but you never know. I don't know what's going on now, so I'm just gonna wait until the weekend, pull the bumper off, put it in front end service mode, look at the supercharger pipe, and hopefully Land Rover gets that part to me and I can start replacing things. P1498 and misfire in cylinder 4, the two codes that haunted me for weeks in my dreams. Anyway, that's the end of part 1. And then check out the second part of the video to see me actually working through those problems.